The world of invention, some names echo through history while others fade into static. Our story begins with a question: why does Gordon McLendon, the maverick of radio, remain a hidden architect of modern broadcasting? As we tune into his legacy, we'll also draw a parallel to another misunderstood genius, Nikola Tesla. Both men shaped the invisible forces that connect us, yet their names are often overshadowed by louder legends. Today, we unravel the intertwined stories of McLendon and Tesla, exploring how their visions continue to pulse through every broadcast and every spark of innovation. Gordon McLendon's journey began in Texas, where he transformed radio from a simple medium into a cultural powerhouse. By the late 1940s, he was already experimenting with new formats, voices, and ideas. His station KLIF in Dallas became a laboratory for radio innovation. McLendon didn't just play music, he created an experience, blending news, jingles, and personality-driven shows. Yet despite his influence, McLendon's name rarely appears in mainstream discussions about broadcasting. Why is that? As we dig deeper, we'll see how his story mirrors the fate of many visionaries whose ideas outpaced their recognition. One reason McLendon's credit is diluted lies in the origins of the Top 40 format. While Todd Storrs is often cited as the inventor, it was McLendon who perfected the formula at KLIF. He turned it into a high-energy, personality-driven machine that set the standard for stations worldwide. But sharing the crown with Storrs meant McLendon's singular genius was often overlooked. This phenomenon isn't unique. History is full of innovators whose contributions are blurred by collaboration or competition. As we move forward, we'll see how McLendon's refinements became the backbone of modern radio, even if his name was sometimes left off the marquee. McLendon's early fame came from the Liberty Broadcasting System, where he performed dramatic recreations of baseball games. Using sound effects and telegraph reports, he brought games to life for listeners who couldn't be there in person. This era, known for the old Scotsman persona, showcased McLendon's flair for sonic storytelling. Yet as live broadcasts became the norm, these studio performances were seen as nostalgic curiosities rather than milestones in radio evolution. Still, McLendon's artistry in manipulating sound and imagination laid the groundwork for future media experiences. The late 1960s, McLendon began selling off his radio empire. His record-breaking sales, like KLIF for $10.5 million, marked a shift in focus, from broadcasting to investments in precious metals and film. This early exit meant McLendon wasn't the face of radio during the FM revolution or the rise of corporate conglomerates. As a result, his influence faded from public view, even as his innovations continued to shape the industry. The story of McLendon's departure is a reminder that timing can determine whether a legacy is celebrated or forgotten. McLendon was a complex figure, both admired and polarizing. A conservative Democrat, he ran for the U.S. Senate on a controversial platform and had documented ties to figures like Jack Ruby and the CIA. These affiliations complicated his legacy, making it difficult for mainstream narratives to embrace him fully. While his innovations were undeniable, his personal and political life often overshadowed his professional achievement. This duality is common among trailblazers, whose private choices sometimes cloud their public contributions. Despite the lack of widespread recognition, McLendon's fingerprints are on nearly every modern radio convention. He pioneered station branding with jingles and mnemonic call letters, established the first mobile news units and traffic reports, and created the world's first all-news radio station. Beyond Top 40, he developed the beautiful music format and even helped launch offshore pirate radio in Europe. These innovations set the stage for the radio landscape we know today, proving that McLendon was not just a broadcaster but a true inventor. One of McLendon's most enduring contributions was the concept of audio branding. He realized that a radio station needed a distinct identity, just like any product. By introducing catchy jingles and memorable call letters, he transformed stations into recognizable brands. This approach not only attracted loyal listeners but also set a template for future broadcasters. Today, audio branding is a standard practice, but it was McLendon who first tuned into its power. McLendon revolutionized news delivery by establishing the first mobile news units and traffic reports. He understood that listeners wanted timely, relevant information, and he found ways to bring the news directly to them, sometimes even before newspapers could. This innovation paved the way for the 24-hour news cycle and the real-time updates we now take for granted. McLendon's vision made radio not just a source of entertainment, but a vital tool for staying informed. Chicago, McLendon launched WNUS, the world's first all-news radio station. This bold experiment changed the industry, proving that listeners would tune in for news around the clock. The concept was ahead of its time, foreshadowing the rise of dedicated news channels and the 24-hour news cycle. McLendon's willingness to take risks and challenge conventions set him apart as a true pioneer. His all-news format remains a cornerstone of modern broadcasting. Beyond the high-energy world of Top 40, McLendon also created the beautiful music format and easy listening style that appealed to a different audience. This innovation demonstrated his versatility and understanding of diverse listener preferences. By offering a soothing alternative to the frenetic pace of pop radio, McLendon expanded the reach of broadcasting and proved that radio could cater to every mood and moment. McLendon's influence wasn't limited to the United States. He played a key role in developing offshore pirate radio in Scandinavia and the British Isles, challenging government monopolies and bringing new voices to the airwaves. Broadcasting from ships in international waters, McLendon and his collaborators broke barriers and inspired a generation of independent broadcasters. This rebellious spirit echoes through today's digital media landscape, where creators continue to seek freedom from traditional gatekeepers. Much like Nikola Tesla, Gordon McLendon was a visionary whose foundational ideas are still in use today. Yet, just as Tesla's inventions often benefited others, McLendon's radio innovations became industry standards without always earning him the credit. Both men operated ahead of their time, and both saw their legacies shaped by forces beyond their control. This comparison helps us appreciate the quiet power of those who build the systems we rely on, even if their names aren't always in the spotlight. History often remembers the first to market, not always the first to invent. Just as Marconi received credit for radio using Tesla's patents, Todd Storrs is often called the inventor of Top 40. But it was McLendon who engineered the format into a global standard, adding personality DJs, jingles, and fast-paced news. This dynamic, where the true innovator is overshadowed by the more visible figure, repeats throughout history. McLendon's story is a reminder to look beyond the headlines and recognize the architects behind the scenes. Tesla dreamed of a world connected by wireless energy, while McLendon built a world connected by wireless information. By pioneering mobile news units and the first all-news station, McLendon essentially invented the 24-hour news cycle long before television caught up. Both men understood that the real power lay in connecting people, whether through electricity or information. Their visions continue to shape the way we communicate and share knowledge today. Both Tesla and McLendon were mavericks who operated outside traditional systems. Tesla worked independently of Edison and Westinghouse, while McLendon bypassed government regulations by launching pirate radio ships. Their willingness to challenge authority and break new ground made them both targets and legends. This rebellious streak is a hallmark of true innovators, who often face resistance before their ideas are accepted. Both Tesla and McLendon eventually stepped away from their primary fields. Tesla turned to obscure experiments while McLendon shifted to gold and film production. Their departures allowed others to reap the long-term rewards of the industries they built. This pattern is common among visionaries whose restless curiosity leads them to new frontiers, sometimes at the cost of lasting fame. McLendon introduced the first radio jingles through PAMS of Dallas, realizing that a station needed a brand as much as any product. This innovation gave radio stations a unique identity and helped them stand out in a crowded market. Today, audio logos are everywhere from podcasts to streaming platforms, proving the lasting impact of McLendon's insight. McLendon was the first to turn utility information, like traffic and weather, into entertainment. By establishing regular traffic reports and 5-minute news bites, he made essential updates part of the radio experience. This approach kept listeners engaged and set a new standard for how information could be delivered with energy and style. Through his recreations of baseball games, McLendon proved that radio wasn't just about transmitting sound, it was about manipulating imagination. Using sound effects and packing, he created immersive experiences that transported listeners to the heart of the action. This mastery of sonic storytelling paved the way for everything from radio dramas to modern podcasts. One of McLendon's most daring ventures was his involvement with pirate radio ships. Broadcasting from international waters, he challenged the BBC's monopoly and brought new music and voices to millions. These floating stations became symbols of freedom and rebellion, inspiring a wave of independent media across Europe. Rivalry between McLendon and Todd Storrs over the Top 40 format was more than a business competition, it was a battle for the soul of radio. McLendon's version emphasized personality, packing, and audience engagement, setting a new standard for what radio could be. This battle shaped the future of broadcasting and ensured that the listener's experience remained at the center of the industry. McLendon's ties to intelligence agencies added a layer of intrigue to his career. Some historians believe his broadcasting genius was used for social engineering and even intelligence work. This connection blurs the line between media and power, raising questions about the true influence of radio in shaping public opinion and policy. The story of McLendon and Tesla is ripe for cinematic exploration. Imagine a film that intercuts Tesla's electrical experiments with McLendon's radio innovations, showing how both men sought to harness invisible forces for the benefit of humanity. Such a film would not only entertain but also educate audiences about the unsung heroes behind our modern world. The heart of this story is the idea that everything is frequency. Tesla transmitted energy through the earth while McLendon transmitted information through the airwaves. Both men understood that the real power lies in connection, whether it's lighting a city or uniting a community through sound. Their legacies remind us that the invisible can be just as transformative as the visible. Today's tech leaders like Elon Musk draw inspiration from both Tesla and McLendon. Musk even named his company after Tesla, recognizing the power of visionary thinking. By looking back at these pioneers, modern innovators find blueprints for disruption and creativity. The lessons of the past continue to guide the breakthroughs of the future. Imagine the visual contrast between Tesla's crackling coils and McLendon's neon-lit radio booths. Both settings symbolize the energy and excitement of discovery. Through film, these moments can be brought to life, showing audiences how innovation is as much about imagination as it is about invention. The power of storytelling ensures that these legacies endure. Sound was McLendon's canvas. He understood that the right combination of music, voice, and effects could create an emotional experience for listeners. This mastery of audio remains relevant in today's world of podcasts, streaming, and digital media. McLendon's techniques continue to influence how we use sound to tell stories and connect with audiences. Many of the most famous DJs and broadcasters got their start under McLendon's mentorship. He recognized talent and gave young voices a platform to shine. This commitment to nurturing new talent ensured that his influence would extend far beyond his own career, shaping the future of radio for decades to come. After leaving radio, McLendon turned his attention to film, producing cult classics like The Killer Shrews. His willingness to explore new creative fields showed the same adventurous spirit that defined his radio career. While his films may not have achieved mainstream success, they remain beloved by fans and serve as a testament to his restless creativity. McLendon was known for his publicity stunts, including citywide treasure hunts that caused a sensation. These events drew massive crowds and demonstrated his understanding of audience engagement. By turning radio into an interactive experience, McLendon set the stage for today's participatory media culture. Both Tesla and McLendon believed in the power of imagination. Tesla visualized entire machines in his mind before building them, while McLendon created entire worlds with sound. Their stories remind us that every great innovation begins as a dream, and that the courage to pursue those dreams can change the world. The ultimate legacy of Tesla and McLendon is the creation of networks, one physical, one social. Tesla's dream of wireless energy and McLendon's vision of wireless information both aim to connect people in new ways. Today's digital networks are the direct descendants of their pioneering work, proving that their ideas were not just ahead of their time but timeless. In our Imagine film, a modern-day Titan played by Christian Bale serves as the narrator, bridging the past and present. This character embodies the restless curiosity and drive of both Tesla and McLendon, searching for the missing frequency that will unlock the next era of human connection. Through his eyes, we see how the lessons of history can inspire the creators of tomorrow. With Christopher Nolan at the helm, this story becomes a temporal puzzle, cutting between the 1920s labs of Tesla and the 1950s radio towers of McLendon. Nolan's signature style brings intensity and depth, making the invisible forces of electricity and sound feel tangible. The film's nonlinear structure mirrors the complexity of innovation itself, showing how ideas ripple across time. Timothée Chalamet as Tesla and Austin Butler as McLendon bring these historical figures to life with intensity and nuance. Their performances highlight the contrasts and connections between the two men, one quiet and introspective, the other bold and theatrical. Together, they embody the spirit of innovation that drives the story forward. Ludwig Göransson's score, using Shepard tones and analog effects, creates a soundscape that mirrors the rising energy of invention. The music becomes a character in itself, echoing the hum of Tesla's coils and the rhythm of McLendon's broadcasts. This auditory experience immerses viewers in the world of innovation, making the invisible forces of frequency and connection feel real. In a dramatic climax, the film intercuts Tesla's failed Wardenclyffe Tower with McLendon's Radio Nord ship dodging Navy vessels. Both men are trying to transmit power to a world that isn't ready to be free. This sequence captures the risks and rewards of pushing boundaries and the courage it takes to challenge the status quo. Pivotal scene features the modern Titan listening to McLendon's old Scotchman baseball recreation. He realizes it was the first virtual reality, an immersive experience coded with nothing but sound and imagination. This moment highlights how McLendon's artistry anticipated the interactive media of today. The film explores the theory that McLendon's broadcasting innovations were tools of social engineering, mirroring Tesla's ideas about frequency as a weapon or unifier. This layer adds intrigue and depth, prompting viewers to consider the ethical implications of technological power. As the film reaches its conclusion, the focus shifts from technology and business to the human desire for connection. The modern Titan realizes that Tesla and McLendon weren't just inventors, they were architects of the invisible networks that bind us together. Their true legacy is the empowerment of individuals to share, create, and connect across boundaries. The message for future creators is clear: don't wait for permission. McLendon proved that if you have a frequency worth hearing, the world will find a way to listen. His story inspires us to take risks, challenge conventions, and trust in the power of our ideas. The next generation of innovators stands on the shoulders of giants like McLendon and Tesla. As the credits roll, we're reminded that the story of innovation is never finished. Each generation adds its own chapter, building on the work of those who came before. The frequency is set, the signal is sent, and the future belongs to those bold enough to listen and to broadcast their own ideas to the world. Frequency of Power is more than a story, it's a blueprint for creators, dreamers, and disruptors. By studying the lives of Tesla and McLendon, we learn that true innovation requires vision, courage, and a willingness to defy expectations. Their legacies invite us to imagine new possibilities and to shape the world with our own unique frequency. Even as time moves forward, the signals sent by Tesla and McLendon continue to resonate. Their work reminds us that the invisible forces, energy, information, imagination, are the true engines of progress. As we close this journey, we celebrate the mavericks who dared to broadcast their dreams, ensuring that their frequencies will echo for generations to come.